recently we had heard from Shri Eknath Shinde also proposing that if the redevelopment society 51% of it agree and if someone does not, you evict them.
मैं यहाँ पे पैदा हुआ था, ऐसे ही घर में पैदा हुआ था, मुझे ऐसे ही मरना है. That doesn't mean he stalls redevelopment for the 15 other people, right? The building is breaking down, maintenance is not being paid. Why are you stopping wealth creation just because you are emotional about a thing? You cannot do that.
So when it comes to redevelopment societies, I'm sure you must be also having a checklist apart from just location. I understand builders have this location matters.
Yeah,
But
real estate, so location always.
In redevelopment, does even society matters?
It does.
So how do you what kind of checklist do you have when you are selecting a society?
It is no checklist, but for me, it's time value of money. Let's put it that way. Right? I consider elements of startup because it's brand new. That means I have a lot more time in my hand to take care of a lot of societies. Right? Their problems I can solve. Their issues I want to resolve. They want to meet me, I'll go meet them multiple times. Will I be able to do this when I have 10 societies, 12 societies in hand? No, because my time is limited, right? So then I will look at societies which are quicker, faster in the decision making, but at a good location, right? So it will be based from developer to developer. I am a Thana builder who's entering Kharbanda Santa Cruz. There will be a Borivali builder who will enter Kharbanda Santa Cruz. For his first 3, 4, 5 projects, he might pick up any society, do whatever it is. कि ये अच्छा लोकेशन है, मैं ले लेता हूँ, कुछ भी हो जाए, मेरे पास बहुत टाइम है. But at the 6th, he will then want to conserve his energy, saying यार बहुत हो गया, जो नाम बनाना था, दिखाना था, कर लिया, अब अच्छा ही जाना है, right? Yeah. So it is a mix and match of, as a developer, your needs and wants, right? Because redevelopment is not like open land. We've done open land, we do open land. I buy open land, I decide when to build it, right? I decide how to build it, I decide what to build on it. Redevelopment takes, if you are lucky, anywhere from a year to 2.5 years, sometimes 3, depending upon if there are problems within the society and their land and their approvals. 3 years before you break down a building. And then 3 years of you breaking them down and rehousing them, right? Because now there are restrictions in the timings, works that you can do and how you can work. So you're looking at one project taking an average of 4 to 5 years. In a normal man's lifestyle or a lifetime, how many such 5 years can he give? I can at max do 5 projects at a time, let's put it that way, right? Because in redevelopment, they want to meet you as a developer, right? If you're a corporate, you can hand it over to your team. But as a redevelopment expert, if I have to brand myself, my face time is more important to them. Saying that मैं डेवलपर के साथ बैठ के आया, उसने हाँ बोल दिया ना हो जाएगा. क्योंकि कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, कॉर्पोरेट वो टीम ने हाँ बोल दिया, फिर बोला अरे सर वो मैनेजमेंट ने कॉल अलग ले लिया, सॉरी, राइट? That is happening in a lot of these corporations. They are realizing that redevelopment is ultra specialization. You need a really top notch guy sitting there, staying through the process with you for at least a decade to a decade and a half, right? Whereas an entrepreneur, the company is you, you are the company. So 5 years, if I do 5 societies, in another 5 years I'll do another 5 societies. So that means if I'm 40, till the time I'm 50, I have done 10 societies. At 51, how much of a struggle would it be to talk to 5 societies, right? Because your life needs, wants are different. So hence this cycle is going to change from age to age. As a second generation, I have a lot more time on my hand. If my third generation were to join in, they'll have a lot more time on their hand. But my father doesn't have that time. He doesn't, at 75, my father is not going to give in 14-hour, 15-hour, 16-hour work days. He'll have a 6-hour work day, right? As a 22-year-old, I used to work for 18 hours in a day. I used to just go home to sleep, come back to Thana. But as a 38-year-old, I can't do that, right? So the location is important, but how quickly is the society moving forward is much more important. नाम बनाना है, एलिमेंट्स का बोर्ड डालना है, 4 सोसाइटी ले ली, ठीक है, 5वीं सोसाइटी में मैं भी सोचूंगा दिस इज टू मच ऑफ एफर्ट, छोड़ देते हैं। आई 4 इन हैंड ना, उसको कंप्लीट करता हूँ, 5वीं अपने आप आएगी। सो इट इज योर रिक्वायरमेंट के बेस पे, देयर इज नो थंब रूल चेकलिस्ट, माइंड कैन चेंज फ्रॉम माय नेबर्स।
So when we see a lot of townships and a lot of projects like those coming in, unnecessary amenities are provided. So when it comes to redevelopment society, what kind of amenities and what kind of checklist do you have?
It is not unnecessary. We build a lot of townships. It is, a lot of those amenities are based on the lifestyle of the people, right? In townships
Demographic
also,
wise.
demographic wise. A pool is a pool is a pool, right? Just like location, location, location. You might not use a pool, but you would want a pool in your complex.
Are we talking about swimming pool or plunge pool? Because that also is showing as a
Plunge-ish swimming pool, let's put it that way, not an Olympic size pool, depending on the size. Uh, but a pool, a good size pool, let's put it that way, right? Within that 500 flats, that pool is very, very small, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to build that big pool, उस पे कोई पानी नहीं भरता है, because that is becomes your last criteria कि गाड़ी धोने के लिए पानी रख, pool के लिए मत रख. But आप pool नहीं बनाते हो, अच्छा आपके पास pool नहीं है. See, these are the questions that the consumer is always asking that developer, because वो दूसरे 4 बिल्डर का सुन के आता है तो बोलता है मेरे को तो pool चाहिए. Very few are those educated guys who are thinking कि यार pool ठीक है, maintenance क्या है boss, maintenance पूछ.
Yeah.
Right? हर साल वो देना है घर लेने के बाद. Pool में तो मैं साल में 1 बार जाऊंगा, 2 बार जाऊंगा. Maintenance क्या है? So it changes demographic wise. Even a Kharband or Santa Cruz, because you have these clubs there, an Otters or a Khar gym or a Bandra gym, the requirement of pools are limited, right? But as a status symbol, a pool is needed.
So you're saying even in luxury redevelopment societies, the customer do demand for pools?
They don't demand, but a water body, in your words, could be a half lap pool, depending on the plot size, could be just a small jacuzzi-ish pool, right? Adds value to the product, adds value to your home, because it's not me going in a pool. Please try and understand. If I have 2 young kids, I don't have those 2 hours to get down from my house, go to an Otters, bathe, bring them back home, right? अच्छा ठीक है यार, you want to just splash around in the pool, बच्चों का kids pool नीचे है, right? जाओ आधा घंटा खेल के वापस आप लिफ्ट में ऊपर आ गए. So it is more on the convenience factor. Why is a gym required in a housing society? Means every lane of Mumbai has 5 gyms, right? Why do housing societies still give gyms? It is now your time that matters, right? Beyond money, time is the most valuable asset that we have, right? So what we as developers are doing in terms of providing those amenities, it's not that amenity or how big or small the pool is or gym is or a conference room is or a banquet is. It is the convenience of you using that facility. I want to host a small birthday party for my family, or a get together, Raksha Bandhan get together for my family. I don't need a 50,000 square foot hall. I need a 1,000 square foot hall, right? जहाँ पे मुझे घर पे नहीं बनाना है, नीचे रखना है.
Yeah.
Is it there in a project? Yes. If it's there, does it cause convenience in my life? Yes. And people are willing to pay for convenience. And convenience is luxury. Can I save my time? Yes. Meeting rooms, do I need a home office? No, because projects are providing now meeting rooms, right? Fully managed, catered cafes with meeting rooms. Can I host somebody downstairs, finish off, come back up home? Yes, I can. That means I don't need to drive to my office in Thane or in BKC, right? I can just finish it here, go back up. So it's on convenience. Amenities are now being provided as per convenience. Kids play area garden, आप जॉगर्स पार्क जाइए ना, गाड़ी में जाओ, जॉगर्स पार्क जाओ, वापस आओ, पार्किंग करो, लंबा हो जाता है. छोटा किड्स प्ले एरिया, बच्चों ने 1 घंटा खेल लिया, वापस ऊपर आ गए. So amenities are based on the plot size and the convenience that it causes, and that is what people are willing to pay for, not for the size of the pool. Is the convenience, because he knows he's not going to go swimming. People who want to go swimming are members of Kharjim Khan or an Otters club. They wake up at 6 in the morning, go finish some laps, come back, shower, go to work. You are now looking at your kids' convenience, saying वो स्कूल से आ रहा है, नीचे थोड़ा स्प्लैश व्लैश कर लिया, थोड़ा स्विमिंग विमिंग सीख लिया, वापस ऊपर चढ़ गया, पड़वड़ लिया, सो गया, कल वापस स्कूल चले गया, right? You're paying for that convenience, and that is how amenities are planned.
True. So, lastly, I want to ask you, how do you see the recent changes in the development control rules, specifically allowing the use or transfer of development rights without indexation in Dharavi development project, influencing Mumbai real estate dynamics? So, with this provision mandating builders to acquire 40% of their TDR from the Dharavi project. So, what shift do you anticipate from the builder perspective in terms of strategies and overall, market landscape?
It's a good and a bad thing, right?
Mm,
Uh, it's a good thing because, well, for Dharavi to develop and the landscape of Mumbai to change, Dharavi upgrading is very, very important.
yeah.
It's a negative because of the 40% requirement, right? That means an entity controls your cost. Uh, if you tie my hands and my legs and put me in the ocean, I can be Michael Phelps,
Mm,
but I will never be able to swim, right?
mm,
Uh, that 40% does that to us. Yes, there is a waiver from the indexation, helps us factor in some part of the cost,
mm,
but if you are the sole seller of one particular item, which you know that the whole world wants, would you control the pricing? If you would that make my stuff more expensive? Yes,
mm,
it does. Then how do I try and give affordable luxury or affordable homes?
mm,
So yes, we understand that Dharavi is a key integral part to unlocking or reshaping Mumbai, right?
mm,
But 40% is a bit too much, right?
mm,
It should come with a guidance or a guideline saying use Dharavi TDR.
mm,
Let's say if they were to say use 100% Dharavi TDR, done.
mm.
But what is the incentive that I get for using the 100% Dharavi TDR?
Yeah.
Because if the normal TDR is going to cost me 100 rupees and Dharavi is going to cost me 130, that's a 30% hike, right?
Mm,
Uh, how do I get compensated for the 30% hike? Because there's one entity, it's not the government selling that, right?
mm,
It's a private player selling it. And as I was telling you earlier, uh, once that luxury housing curve goes down, supply goes down, demand will still be there because families will keep on growing. People in Mumbai want to stay in Mumbai, people in Khar want to stay in Khar.
true.
Who controls that price? Not a builder who's looking at making money or trying to repay debt or whatever it is.
Mm,
It is an individual who bought it 100 rupees,
mm,
has paid off their debts or done whatever,
mm,
एंड सेल्स ठीक है, मैं मेरे घर में खुश हूँ, वो घर नहीं भी बिकता तो भी मुझे चलता है क्योंकि आज पैसे का जरूरत नहीं है,
mm,
राइट?
mm,
सो यू कंट्रोल दैट प्राइस एज एन इंडिविजुअल. नोबडी कैन कम टू यू एंड से कृतिका ये प्राइस गलत है, आपको इतने में बेचना चाहिए, आप इतना पैसे कैसे बना सकते हो,
mm,
राइट? बिकॉज यू आर एन इंडिविजुअल, यू आर अ प्राइवेट सिटीजन. Same applies with the Dharavi thing. If I am forced to swim with my hands and legs tied, then it should be a 2 feet pool, right? Because at least I won't drown. If you're going to put me in the ocean and say,
mm,
जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी सिमरन, नहीं होता है. It will push up costs, and you will see a spike where either developers will increase the selling price,
mm,
and we will face backlash because we are going to be blamed for all the troubles of the world,
mm.
or you will see lesser development happening, which is also not helping their cause of the whole TDR being utilized, right?
Right.
So I hope that they rechange certain clauses.
But not related to this, I want to understand when you're talking about guidelines.
Hmm.
There are association called CREDI and Narratco. When it comes to redevelopment projects, why don't we have a clear guidelines? Meaning, of course, recently we had heard from Shri Eknath Shinde also proposing that if the redevelopment society 51%
Hmm.
of it agree, and if someone does not, you evict them. But I'm talking about more on the lines of when there are two, three developers running for one society, as you said, they must be competing.
Yeah.
In that competition, what happens? Slandering happens. In that competition, miscommunication happens. Society can also demand certain things, which certain developer can promise and cannot. Why don't we still have guidelines when it comes to redevelopment?
We can't, right? We are a capitalist. Yes, we are a democratic republic nation,
Hmm.
but eventually business is capitalism, right? How can a Naredco or a Credai
Hmm.
tell 5 builders bidding same इतने percentage से ऊपर मत देना? They can't put those terms. Again, individuals like you and
Hmm.
me cannot be curbed by the way we do business as long as it is legal, right? Your risk appetite in car, let's say, would be to purchase at 100 rupees a square foot. Mine could be at 103. Somebody might have at 98. So we will stop then, right? It's because of this that wealth creation also happens for the society member, right? Because three of us are competing for that plot. The society guys know that there is a demand for that plot.
Yeah.
They will up their prices. It is the best example of capitalism. Any luxury product today is far more expensive than what it was pre-COVID. Why? It's not that production has gone down; they have controlled production, right? You could walk into a store, purchase a Rolex, come out, MRP, right? You could walk into a store, negotiate on a luxury car, an Audi, BMW, Mercedes. Now you can't. Why? Because they say we don't want to produce more. That can happen because Mercedes controls an X percentage, BMW controls an X percentage, Audi controls an X percentage, right? It cannot happen in real estate where there are 5,000 builders. Never. You can never have that. And it's a good thing you don't have that. Because if you do, whatever conversation that we've been having, your real estate price will be 5 lakh rupees a square feet. Because there are only 5 guys building. Na chahiye to le, nahi chahiye to mat le. Right? Because there are 50 people competing for that same land, I am always fearful that Kritika might outbid me. So agar mujhe chahiye, I need to act fast. Right? If there is 5 of us, I can call you up and say, सुन ना, तूने 10 प्रोजेक्ट ले लिए हैं, तू रुक जा, मैं दूसरा 10 लेता हूँ, फिर उसको लेने देते हैं, फिर वापस तू 10 लेना. So then the society is chasing you rather than you chasing the society. So this is a good thing. With regards to what you've clubbed with that 51%, that's in a positive light because a lot of redevelopment got stalled or gets stalled because some people are just either too scared or want more and are more greedy, right? If we are 5 of us in a room and 4 agree to a certain thing, majority wins, right? If in an election for a country we have a majority rule, why can't we have that for redevelopment? Why does it always have to be 100%? A nation like ours runs elections, nation like the US runs elections. There's a tipping point, right? कि 53% हो गया तो ये सरकार नक्की हो गई. So the same rule has to apply for a housing society. You cannot let some one person say मुझे करना ही नहीं है because I have emotional attachment. Forget anything else. मैं यहाँ पे पैदा हुआ था, ऐसे ही घर में पैदा हुआ था, मुझे ऐसे ही मरना है. That doesn't mean he stalls redevelopment for the 15 other people, right? The building is breaking down, maintenance is not being paid. Why are you stopping wealth creation just because you are emotional about a thing? You cannot do that. The clause, it doesn't say evict. It says that if they do not leave peacefully, right, then via court order you evict them, right? The idea is if 5 of us are there in bidding for that society and if one of us or you get that 55% majority, let's say 51% majority, it basically means that the project is over. That means I cannot then go in and start influencing and say, Sunna, tum charge idhar shift ho jao. It's done, dusted, voted, cast, clear. So now you have that control on the project and development will happen. So it's a very pro-development circular.
So you're saying we do not require policies or regulations when it comes to redevelopment societies?
No, we do, and we have policies and regulations. Like that 51% is a great policy move. Yeah. But as CREDA, MCHA, or NAREDCO, or as even the government cannot say कि तुम redevelopment में से 25% दो. Because means आप 25% दो बोलते हो तो आप किसी का नुकसान कर रहे हो और किसी का फायदा कर रहे हो, right? आप उसको रिवर्स कर दो कि 100% दे दो तो किसी का फायदा हो रहा है पर किसी और का नुकसान हो रहा है, राइट? इन बिजनेस दे कैन नॉट कैप कि मैं क्या चीज कितने में बेचूं. दे कैन ओनली से कि आप जो भी करो एथिकली करो.
Is it happening ethically? Why my question comes in because when we talk to these societies, they say even when the developer approaches them, they're also bad mouthing about the other developer, right? So the communication.
That's human nature, no, Kritika. No. Somebody told me in a very funny gesture and way saying that Shyamal, you know what is the biggest parallel with real estate and Bollywood?
Mm.
I said, no, means my answer is going to be stupid, so you give me yours because you have something better. He said that in Bollywood also you hug and kiss your enemy, right? You do the same thing in real estate. I never believed him. I laughed it off, saying, buddy, I've got a lot of friends in real estate. We are great friends, great pals, great buddies. He's like,
Mm.
you're starting out on your own, aren't you? And yeah. It's like you get out of that banner of Raunak Group that you've been working under, you'll
Mm.
realize what I'm talking about. छोड़ना यार, तू मस्ती कर रहा है.
Mm.
It is true.
So you're saying slandering the developer only, your own acquaintance is the way to go ahead?
It is not. I'm not saying it is the way to go. I'm saying it is happening.
It is happening. I mean, we see more of this happening in redevelopment societies, right?
Yeah, because lot of people,
Hmm.
lot of hype, very few society. You don't see it in open land because in open land money talks,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You got to put your money where your mouth is.
True.
It's very clear.
Hmm.
In redevelopment, it's a shot in the dark. लगा तो लग गया, तब देखेंगे आज कितना डालना है. I cannot do that in Thana. Beyond a point, if I were to buy a piece of land outskirts or wherever, even in Bombay city,
Hmm.
beyond a point I can't outbid you because the money in the bank that I have is what I will have to produce in an X number of days.
Yeah.
Right? So I cannot do masti में saying 200 crore
Hmm.
when the reserve price is 100. Because अगर मैं जीत गया तो बैंक बोलेगी चल भर, right? या वो लैंडलॉर्ड बोलेगा चल भर, फिर क्या करेगा? I cannot backtrack. In a society, if I want to spoil the game for you, I'm at 36, you're at 39, मैं मस्ती में अगर 40 कर दूं और आप डेस्परेट हो और मुझे मालूम है आप डेस्परेट हो, तो आप 41 करोगे तो फिर आपका नुकसान किया ना. Again, it's business 101, right? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on person to person. Is it something that you can stop? No. Is it something that you should be aware of? Yeah, I think you deal with it. This is life. Blood is thicker than water. Everything else is just hearsay. We developers are like Bollywood guys. We'll hug and kiss you during award functions. There are very, very few bonds that do remain. I have some really great friends in the fraternity. But you now come to know who your friends and foes are. Because it is capitalism at the end of the day, Kritika. Everybody wants to make money. And everybody wants to make money now. Right? It is your appetite versus mine, your is taking versus mine. So it should not happen, but means you can't put a law and Creda or Naredco can't come up with a law and say किसी ने ये कर दिया तो तुमको बैन कर देंगे, because you're not in school, boss. School में वो principal knuckles पे मारती थी. Hey, how do you say that? We were taught certain manners. When you're in the outside world,
True.